Part 91. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 902. Chapter 902 The Cycle of Cause and Effect, Retribution. If her parents came back and saw her like this, their eyes would probably pop out. After all, Gerla has always been a good girl in their eyes. Suchen controls 9527. First, a piece of white paper suddenly lifted up and floated a foot in front of her. It scared the kid out of his wits. He stared blankly at the white paper floating in front of him. This supernatural scene made her blink several times, still in disbelief. Immediately afterwards, 9527 before Gerla screamed, she quickly cut out a few words on the white paper. The cycle of cause and effect, retribution. The pleasure of bullying others will eventually come to you. Now, retribution begins. After doing this, Suchen asked 9527 to come back first. This task cannot be completed so quickly. After all, if you want to scare this guy so much that he will never dare to bully anyone again in his life, how can one threat be enough? It will take more. How many times is fun? After all, wasn't this guy bullying others like this when he was in school? Another 2 minutes passed. The time happened to be 9:59:30. It was far from the mission 3 mentioned by the system. There were only 30 seconds left for the cyber gangster who was being rewarded to act. At this time, the taxi was not far from where the other party lived. Suchen immediately asked 9527 to take action again. Carrying a miniature camera equipment, he quickly came to the other party outside the window. Although the other party is extremely cautious, all the places in the room that can be sealed are sealed, and the places that can be blocked from light are blocked. But for mosquitoes like 9527, as long as you ventilate it, as long as you need air conditioning, it can follow the pipes get in. And the action is extremely fast. In just a few seconds, 9527 arrived above the head of the internet gangster. He grabbed the ceiling and stared coldly at the 200-pound fat man below. This guy's skin is very white. It is the kind of pale color that lacks exercise and sunlight all year round. At the same time, the skin is very tender. He is obviously a city dog who has never touched the spring water with his fingers. The time came to 10 o'clock. The internet gangster did what the system said. Finally he couldn't help it. He started to take action. He had been looking around and being cautious for a long time. Checking everywhere, turning sideways, and carefully opening a corner of the curtain to peek out. Now he was finally going to take action. He really couldn't help it. After all, if he didn't take action, this paragraph, the money accumulated over time will not reach his account. You know, that is more than 2 million. In another 2 hours, the 2 million will be automatically distributed to other randomly selected people due to program settings on the person's account, thereby eliminating his suspicion. But how could he let it go? It must be said that people's luck mentality kills people. As long as I do it within 10 seconds, I won't be photographed. My confidentiality measures have been taken to the extreme. I have searched the entire room inside and outside, and I have eliminated all possible surveillance. No one can discover my actions by chance. Convincing himself mentally, this 200-pound internet gangster turned on the computer, quickly entered his account number and password, then clicked on the software, logged in again, transferred money, and then shut down the computer. The whole process was indeed very fast. In line with his own estimation same, it was done in just 10 seconds. After doing this, the network gangster breathed a sigh of relief. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 903. Chapter 903, A Way to Intimidate an Unscrupulous Girl. When the 2 million comes into my account, I will find a way to go abroad to avoid the limelight. It's quite uncomfortable to be stuck in there like this all the time. Maybe I can pick up a few more girls abroad, hee hee. The cyber gangster who completed the transfer sat back in his chair with a slight smile on his face. And without knowing it, it was on the ceiling above his head. A mosquito that was so small that he couldn't even notice it was filming the whole scene of his operation through a miniature camera device. Later, as long as Suchen hands these videos to the police will be able to trace the account records of the internet gangster through the account number and password entered by the other party. Then you can follow the clues and catch the connection between this guy and the online and offline personnel of his organization. In this way, the entire evidence chain is connected, and it will be absolutely easy to capture this guy. Soon. 9527 under Suchen's order, return quickly. Suchen also took a taxi and headed to Century Tower leisurely. And on the other side of the Palm community, the girl who committed campus bullying finally recovered from the extreme shock and panic. A scream of extreme horror sounded in the room on the 4th floor. She looked at the white paper falling slowly. Looking at the few lines of words hollowed out on the white paper, my breathing almost stopped for a moment. The cycle of cause and effect, retribution. The pleasure of bullying others will eventually come to you. Now, retribution begins. These words have been ringing in her mind. You know, Gerla was also an atheist before. The kind who is not afraid of heaven and earth. She will climb up and pee on people's heads when they see bodhisattvas. But the scene I saw today, after ruling out for countless times that it was not an hallucination, Gerla was scared. She was trembling in the corner. She was far away from the white paper. It was as if the white paper was scary. Like a ghost. She wanted to call her parents. But when she thought of what was written on the white paper, it was like breaking the mask she had disguised in front of her parents for many years. She quickly gave up the idea. I can't let my parents see this. If they see it, I'm finished. After a long time, she seemed to have gained some courage. She got a clothes drying pole from somewhere. She poked the white paper carefully and fearfully. After poking a few times, she found that it was indeed a piece of white paper. I became more courageous and looked a little crazy. Damn you, if I know who is teasing me, I can't kill you. Gerla finally showed her true nature and threw away the clothes drying pole. She stepped on the white paper desperately. She kept trampling the white paper until it was smashed, and finally threw it into the toilet and flushed it away before stopping. But once she calmed down. Gerla, think back to the scene just now. Suddenly, the white paper floated up. Without any external force, it actually floated up. Moreover, hollow fonts appeared automatically, which in itself represented some kind of supernatural being that humans could not explain. The more Gerla thought about it, she became even more creepy. She grabbed a hat and put it on her head, and immediately ran out of the room. She ran downstairs and among the old ladies and old men she usually hated the most. Only then did she feel a bit of the breath of the world, gasping. Angry. After a long time, Gerla called her parents. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 904. Chapter 904, The speed of making money is so exciting. Mom and Dad, the house is not clean, I'm afraid. Gerla pinched her soft and weak crying voice and cried to her parents. I have to say that her appearance does make me feel pity for her. Even the old men and women around her felt distressed when they saw her, and they all asked what's wrong with the little girl. Is someone bullying you? Of course. Suchen doesn't know what happened here for the time being. He casually strolled around the bustling Century Tower commercial street. By the way, in Mission 2, the video taken in Mission 3 was uploaded to the Bounty platform. After a short period of identification, the Bounty platform determined that Suchen successfully completed these 2 tasks. At the same time, the staff of the Bounty platform were also very curious. Who is this newbie? He seems to have a few tricks up his sleeve. For such a difficult task, especially for an internet gangster, he was able to obtain such clear and direct video evidence. The staff of the Bounty platform looked at the video in surprise. This video is so clear. And from this angle, you can completely see that the shot was taken from the top of the opponent's head. To ordinary people, this angle may not be noticeable. But for the cyber mafia guy, it is impossible for him not to detect such obvious surveillance. With the other party's many years of counter-reconnaissance experience, it is really surprising that Suchen was able to capture such a clear evidence video without the other party being aware of it. Pay attention to him, I am more optimistic about him, said an F-level manager of the Bounty platform. Because he completed these 2 tasks, Suchen's bounty points have reached 9 points. He is only 1 point away from being promoted to F-level. And with Suchen's impressive with amazing abilities, it is easy to reach level F. At the same time, Suchen also heard the clear sound of the system. Ding! Congratulations on successfully completing G-level bounty mission, The Ugly Stepmother. Mission completion, perfect. Earn bounty points, 2 points. Current total points, 7 points. Ding! You get a reward of 20,000. You get an additional bonus of 4,000. Ding! Congratulations on successfully completing G-level bounty mission, Internet Black Hand. Mission completion, perfect. Earn bounty points, 2 points. Current total points, 9 points. Ding! You get a reward of 500,000. You get an additional bonus of 100,000. Soon. 2 consecutive short interest reminders appeared on the phone. Seeing that the deposit soared from the previous 20,000 to more than 640,000, Suchen clenched his fists and felt excited. The speed at which you make money is so exciting. More than 640,000. And it was earned in just a few days. In the past, this was an astronomical sum that Suchen would not have dared to think about. If he changed to his previous job, he would probably have to pay for it. It took 30 years of non-drinking to save so much money. And now, in just 4 days, I made it. I can earn more in the future. Relying on my pet evolution system, maybe I will soon have my own luxury house in this very large first-tier city. Thinking about the good life in the future, Suchen laughed happily. He also tried all the delicious food he saw in the commercial street. It was not until night that he returned to the vicinity of Palm Community. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 905. Chapter 905 Peel off the mask of hypocrisy. Then continue to take a taxi. That's right, Suchen returned to Palm Community again. After all, Task 1 has not been completed yet. Tonight, he had to add another pound to scare this surly girl to the point where she would never dare to bully her again in school in order to complete this task. Through the camera of 9527, Suchen saw the girl at this time. She was lying in her mother's arms, crying about the uncleanness of the room. The two tried to persuade each other for a long time, but their daughter still refused to live here. I also took my daughter to the hospital during the day. She was told that she was overly frightened and that her body was fine. How about moving to another place tomorrow? The mother felt very distressed when she saw her daughter frightened like this. After all, in her eyes, her daughter is a sweet and good girl. No other child is as sensible, considerate, and kind as her own children. And with their financial resources, it is not enough to buy a house for their children. Just a casual thing. The father thought for a while and nodded. After all, money is nothing in front of the child. As long as the child is good, the parents are willing to sacrifice their heart and soul. This night, the parents and their daughter live together. Among them, the mother still sleeps with her daughter. This seems to cause a lot of difficulty for Suchen to complete the task. After all, the task only talks about intimidating girl A, but it cannot affect other innocent people. But for Suchen, this a little difficulty is nothing. It happened that girl A was about to go to the toilet. She always went to the toilet alone. Suchen immediately asked 9527 to follow. Then, when girl A finished using the toilet and was about to get up, a soft toilet paper suddenly floated in front of her eyes. Then she continued to cut out a few lines of words. This is not an illusion. This is karma. Good and evil will eventually be rewarded, just sooner or later. Then, Suchen also asked 9527 to cut out simple portraits of several poor girls who were bullied by girl A to the point of committing suicide on the soft toilet paper. Finally, he quickly smashed the entire toilet paper into pieces. Then 9527 quickly returned to Suchen's arms. With this addition, this guy should be a good learner for the rest of his life. Suchen was sitting in a moving taxi, with the corner of his mouth slightly raised. Soon, a shrill scream sounded from the toilet on the 4th floor. The parents who heard the news hurriedly opened the toilet door. They found their daughter. He was extremely pale and slumped on the ground in fear. His body was shaking with fear. Ghost, ghost, ghost. It's a ghost. They are the ghosts of Lili and Chen Mei. They came to take revenge on me. They want to kill me. Help! Help! The parents have never seen their daughter look so frightened. However, when they looked at the scene, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. They tried to comfort her, but it was of no use. The daughter became more and more frightened. She even wanted to run away and find the police. The parents thought about it. I thought, so I took advantage of the situation and took my daughter to the police station. Saw a ghost. Lili and Chen Mei are your classmates. Why do they want to retaliate against you? Under the professional questioning of the police officer, Gerla finally told all the bastard things she had done in school over the years. The parents on the side were shocked when they heard this. They looked at their daughter in disbelief. In their eyes, the latter was so well behaved, sensible, kind, and cute. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 906. Chapter 906. The Gold-Eating Beast. How could he do such a stupid thing? And Gerla finally broke through her psychological defense because of Suchen's 2 threats. So she fully explained everything about her to the police and her parents, after the initial shock. Slowly, I also recalled the things reported by my previous school and classmates. Could it be that everything they said was true? Is my daughter really such a bully in school? Bullying classmates everywhere. Even, the classmates who bullied him committed suicide by jumping off the building. Thinking of this, after being taught by the police, the parents finally realized their mistakes in educating their daughters. They have a large degree of responsibility for their daughters becoming like this. They doted on and trusted their daughters too much, and indulged too much. His own daughter has never been harsh on her, which almost led her to become a female gangster and a female criminal. The parents held their daughters and cried bitterly. The police also found that Gerla was just too frightened. As for what Gerla said about paper floating and words appearing on the screen was regarded as the other person's imagination and did not pay attention to it. After some teaching, her parents took Gerla, who had calmed down a little, back to another residence. There was no other way. It turned out that Gerla didn't dare to go back to that 4th floor. In the next 2 days, Gerla even offered to apologize to the classmates who were bullied by her in the past. And Suchen finally heard the system prompt sound. Ding. Congratulations on successfully completing G-level bounty mission, school bullying, mission score, perfect. Earn bounty points, 2 points. Your current total bounty points are 11 points. Ding. The reward amount you get, 30,000. Obtain additional reward bounty amount, 6,000. Ding. Your bounty level can be increased. Do you want to increase it? Finally heard the prompt to upgrade the level. Suchen didn't hesitate at all and immediately chose to upgrade. Ding. Congratulations on your successful promotion to F-class bounty killer. You can accept G and F level bounty missions. Finally upgraded. Suchen was excited. This day's mission not only allowed him to get an unprecedented reward of more than 500,000 yuan, but also directly promoted him from the lowest G level to F level. It seems that I came to the super first tier city at the right time. I was so awesome on the first day. I am afraid I will grow faster in the future. With more than 500,000 yuan in hand, Suchen suddenly felt rich. The money is not enough to buy a house, a car, etc., especially in a super first tier city like this where a house can cost millions or tens of millions. Well, let's see if we can get a second pet evolution first. Thinking of this, Suchen called the system. System, with my current funds, can I evolve 9,527 for the second time? Host, your current funds are far from enough. The system answered very simply. Suchen shrugged. Not enough means not enough, and added the word far. That means that to carry out the second evolution of 9,527, I am afraid that the funds will be at least millions, or even tens of millions. 10 million. This pet evolution is a complete gold-swallowing beast. Suchen sighed in his heart. Then he asked, is it possible to capture and evolve a second pet? Well, if it's evolution, what level of evolution can I carry out with more than 500,000? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 907. Chapter 907 The Confusion of the Bounty Platform. Return to the host and capture the second pet. To what extent the host's current funds can evolve a new pet depends on the qualifications of the new pet. Generally speaking, with the current amount of funds of the host, the highest qualification for evolution will not exceed F level. Suchen was speechless. A huge sum of more than 500,000 yuan. It can actually be used to evolve even beyond F level. This pet evolution system is really a gold-eating beast. Should I use it to evolve pets? Seeing this, Suchen hesitated again. Should he use it to improve his life first and enjoy what corruption is? Or should he evolve another pet and see what abilities it has? But, a pet that does not exceed F level, and how powerful will it be? Thinking of this, Suchen decided not to rush to evolve, but to wait for 2 days. Maybe he can complete more valuable tasks in these 2 days. In this way, if he has more money, he can naturally do it. Evolved better. What's more, a person like Suchen who completes 3 major tasks in 1 day is more eye-catching after all. He also needs 2 days to offset potential threats. Facts have proved that what Suchen thought, that's right. What he didn't know was that both the police and the bounty platform were now very interested in Suchen. The police were mainly responsible for the case of internet gangsters. They had been in their hands for many years and had not successfully solved it. Even though the suspect has been identified as the cybercriminal himself, but due to the other party's strong anti-reconnaissance capabilities, the exact evidence has not been obtained. Now, someone has actually obtained it directly from the bounty platform. And the bounty killer who completed this task is just a G-class novice killer who has only been in the job for 2 days. This is very surprising. You know, Many D-class killers have been unable to complete this difficult case. Alas, the confidentiality effect of this reward platform is so good that even if our police want to find this kind of talent, there is no way. Otherwise, if we recruit him, our case processing speed will be greatly improved. A police leader sighed. But in fact, because of the super concealment ability of the pet evolution system, even the reward platform does not know Suchen's true identity. At this time, such an inquiry also occurred on the reward platform. A person on the reward platform. The person in charge of the reward platform in Tianqiu district also noticed Suchen's impressive achievements. Sharp. He was actually able to complete all 3 tasks in one day without the other party noticing. And until now, even our platform doesn't know how he did it. This newbie has something. The person in charge of the reward platform nodded. The assistant on the side brushed the tablet in his hand. After a while, he frowned and said to the person in charge, "Boss, I can't find the specific information about this person. We just now discovered that this guy actually used some kind of encryption algorithm and used countless layers of fake identity information to register a killer account with us. And it cannot be cracked. With this encryption algorithm, as long as we unlock the other party's layer of fake identity information, the other party will immediately generate countless new identity information. Meaning we can never crack it? Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion." Author, 7 years. Chapter 908. Chapter 908 The Platform's Kindness. Great rewards. When the assistant said this, he looked extremely moved and said, "Boss, this person is definitely an internet genius. In other words, he is also a mathematical genius. So far, I have only seen him use this amazing encryption algorithm in the world. Its level of advanced technology is probably at least several decades ahead of ours. If we can recruit such talents, I'm afraid our platform's confidentiality capabilities can be improved by several orders of magnitude. But, if you can't poach him..." The assistant stopped when he said this. The person in charge understood what the assistant meant. Taking what he said, "If we can't poach him and he is hostile to our platform, can he easily destroy our entire platform?" The assistant nodded with difficulty. "Indeed, he does have this ability." The person in charge took a deep breath. "This is a real genius, unparalleled genius. Send him an invitation letter first. No, send him a reward message. Let's just say that the platform saw that he had completed 6 consecutive missions at a perfect level, so an extra 50% of the bounty amount was awarded to him. This is a kind of win-over. Hopefully, he can appreciate the money a little more now." The assistant nodded and said, "While operating, boss, people with this ability are probably either super veterans or some powerful team. In either case, I'm afraid I won't be interested in this little money. After all, he has only earned less than 600,000 yuan so far. If we add an additional half, it will only be less than 300,000 yuan. The person in charge thought for a while and waved his hand, "Then increase it to 100%. The final effect must be that our platform releases goodwill to him." Okay. Spending more than 500,000 to make a small gift for such a super genius or a powerful team is a good start. Soon. A clear system prompt sounded in Suchen's mind. Ding. Since you are new to the assassin profession and all 6 tasks have reached the perfect level, the bounty platform will reward you with 100% of the previous bounty amount. You will receive an additional monetary reward of 580,000, please check carefully. Hearing this notification sound, Suchen was stunned for a moment. He even thought, couldn't this be fraudulent information? There was no way. Any normal person would have been harassed by various fraudulent lottery information. So much so that Suchen was still a little doubtful. But when he thought that this was the information put into his mind through the pet evolution system? With the superpower of the pet evolution system, it should not be able to filter out even a piece of fraudulent information. Just before while I was thinking secretly, my phone suddenly vibrated. I opened it and saw that 580,000 yuan was credited to the bank. I go. It's actually true. This is really an unexpected fortune from heaven. There are nearly 600,000 yuan in hand. In total, Suchen now has more than 1.1 million yuan in hand. He suddenly became a millionaire. This feeling is still very satisfying. System, to what level can a new pet evolve up to 1 million? Suchen asked in his heart. Return to the host, no higher than D level. The specific situation depends on the qualifications of the pet. Suchen nodded. There is 9,527 with B level combat power. Even if it is D level, Suchen looks down on it. Let's go and be cool first, and leave the evolution behind. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 909. Chapter 909 Zhou Yuanshan's terrifying intuition. Suchen came to the super first-tier city and hadn't done much shopping yet. I heard that the food, drink, and entertainment here are among the best in the world. People from all walks of life gather here to contribute their innovation and efforts. You can see the most intelligent, capable, beautiful, handsome, witty, and humorous people here. More than half of the people here are young people under the age of 30. This is a city that is forever young. Coming here, Suchen's biggest sense is, full of vitality. And just when Suchen was enjoying the vitality of this dynamic city, in his hometown of a small third-tier city, Police Captain Zhou Yuanshan suddenly discovered a very important piece of information. After working day and night for several days on the street surveillance camera where the gangster's leg was cut off, he finally found a clue. At this time, the police office was already filled with smoke. Zhou Yuanshan, his apprentice, and 2 police officers with computer expertise have been screening surveillance videos here for 3 days and 3 nights. Several people were greasy-headed and exhausted. Because of the pressure from his superiors, Zhou Yuanshan had to work as hard as young people in his 40s. Otherwise, if this serial case is not solved after a month, he will probably have to be transferred to a more remote place. Ordering takeout or instant noodles. The apprentice rubbed his dry eyes and asked his master Zhou Yuanshan. The latter rubbed his rough face vigorously and said in a low voice, "Stop instant noodles. I have been eating instant noodles for 3 days. Let's order takeout. I want some of rice." The other 2 police officers finally showed a smile. This was the only thing that made them slightly happy during the 3 days and nights of seclusion. At the police station, instant noodles are enough and free of charge. But ordering takeout, you have to pay for it yourself. This is Zhou Yuanshan's treat, and it's also a reward for everyone's hard work these 3 days. Just when the apprentice just picked up his mobile phone to order food, a police officer with computer expertise was following the usual practice, placing another order. Surveillance videos are browsed in fast-forward mode, hoping to find any clues. But this manual attempt has been to no avail in the past 3 days. As for more advanced big data screening, they have also done it. But without more specific information about the suspect, big data screening has no effect. In the end, Zhou Yuanshan could only continue to use manual screening. And Zhou Yuanshan also lit up a cigarette again while casually scanning the suspect. The police officer opened the video. Suddenly, he seemed to see some extremely small gray shadow flashing past in the video. It was so fast that he even thought it was an illusion caused by his old eyesight. But a huge impulse and intuition suddenly surged in his heart. Zhou Yuanshan, a 40-year-old detective, suddenly felt his heart beat faster. He quickly pressed the police officer's shoulders. "Wait. Go back. Slow down. Right here, start playing, then rewind and slow down to the lowest possible speed. This surveillance is located next to the street lamp opposite the balcony. It is only used to monitor pedestrians on the roadside and narrate the situation at a bus stop. From this angle, Suchen's position cannot be recorded. However, there is an extremely fine gray shadow seem to flash past here. The apprentice was also attracted by Zhou Yuanshan's voice. Master, what did you see? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 910. Chapter 910. The mysterious insect traveling at 100 kilometers per hour. Zhou Yuanshan did not answer, but stared at the video with all his concentration. Go back again, can you slow down a little more? The computer professional police officer looked puzzled. He had watched the video several times, but he didn't see anything. He didn't know what Zhou Yuanshan, the old detective, was looking at. But Zhou Yuanshan was his leader and immediate superior. You can only play back the video according to the instructions. Is the slowest speed only 0.5 times? Zhou Yuanshan frowned. This speed is still not enough. The weak and small gray shadow in the picture is still extremely difficult to see clearly. The police officer who specializes in computers thought quickly and said, I can intercept this section. Use technical means to play this video at the slowest speed of each frame. Good, Zhou Yuanshan's eyes lit up. Very quickly. This special video was processed. The police followed Zhou Yuanshan's request and played it at the slowest speed, that is, 1 frame per second. At this time, the video that gray shadow can finally be captured by the naked eye. Huh? Something really flew by. At this time, even Zhou Yuanshan's apprentice noticed something strange and pointed at the extremely small gray shadow on the computer screen. Because Suchen's 9527 did not consider the surrounding surveillance cameras at that time. And at that time 9527 happened to fly close to this camera. That's why Zhou Yuanshan could see the gray shadow of 9527 in the surveillance camera. But the pixels of this gray image are too low to see clearly what it is. It might be a moth or something. It couldn't be a moth, as moths aren't that big and don't move during the day, Zhou Yuanshan cautiously judged. Master, what do you think it is? Zhou Yuanshan pondered for a while. It might be a fly, or it might be some other small flying insect. The apprentice asked again. Well, master, it's not that the apprentice doubts you, the main thing is, even if we know what kind of insect this thing is, what effect will it have on the case? Do you suspect this insect is a suspect? The other 2 police officers also looked at Zhou Yuanshan. Everyone looked puzzled. But considering Zhou Yuanshan's decades of rich criminal investigation experience, they did not dare to question it. Zhou Yuanshan slowly shook his head. What's the use now? It's not clear yet, but I have a gut feeling that this thing is extraordinary. The computer professional police officer who processed the video also reacted at this time and suddenly exclaimed, not bad. Truly extraordinary. Seeing people approaching him, the police officer said excitedly, look, my current speed is 1 frame per second, which means I have slowed down the normal video speed by nearly 30 times. But if you look at the gray shadow in the picture, it flew over a distance of nearly 1 meter in 2 frames. This speed has reached a speed of 100 kilometers per hour. But what insect in this world can fly at a speed of 100 kilometers per hour? Everyone finally looked shocked when they heard this. Even Zhou Yuanshan, after the police officer's analysis, seemed to have grasped the fleeting intuition in his mind. You keep talking, Zhou Yuanshan said immediately. The police officer said, I think, regardless of whether it is related to the case or not, just analyzing the speed of this insect, I think it is very amazing. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 911. Chapter 911 found the traces of 9527. You know, the fastest flying insect in the world is the dragonfly, which can reach a top speed of 52 km per hour. But it's also much slower than the speed of this mysterious insect in our video. Not even half of it. Another police officer asked, is it possible that the image is biased just by the effect of light and shadow? You should know that under certain circumstances, certain light and shadow effects will also occur like this. The police officer shook his head and said, I am more than 90% sure that the effect of light and shadow can be ruled out. First of all, this is a daytime video, and it is a sunny, cloudless video in the morning, with almost no light or shadow interference. Secondly, our video is a surveillance video, not a video of special camera equipment. It only has the most basic video capture function. The probability of producing that special light and shadow effect is less than 3%, which is a small probability event in terms of probability. It can be ignored. The apprentice looked thoughtful behind him and said, so, there is something wrong with this insect. Zhou Yuanshan, can you analyze what this insect is through the image? The computer professional police officer nodded immediately and said, we have professional image analysis software, which is based on the latest big data AI supplementary software. Even if it is a fully mosaic image, we can restore more than 80% of the authenticity of the original image. This one is very simple. After saying that, he immediately started operating on the computer. Soon, he processed it through professional software. By analyzing and synthesizing several pictures with gray shadows captured in this video. In just 10 seconds, an ultra-high-definition picture appeared. The composite photos of degrees appeared in the eyes of everyone. Damn it! Is this actually a mosquito? After everyone saw the picture clearly, they were surprised and cursed. Can a mosquito reach a speed of 100 km per hour? If you tell me this, you won't even believe it. A police officer inquired and replied, the fastest flying mosquito in the world is a certain blood-sucking mosquito in the Amazon rainforest. Its fastest speed can reach 18 km per hour. Only 18 km per hour? But the mosquito in the video has exceeded 100 km per hour. This is a hell of a day. The apprentice was the youngest among them all, and his thinking was relatively divergent. He smiled and said, if we release this video, we will probably be awarded the Nobel Prize in Biology. If Darwin knows about it, he will probably jump out of the coffin in shock. Come out. Several police officers smiled. But Zhou Yuanshan frowned and kept staring at the mosquito in the picture without saying a word. After a while, he said, can you determine the origin of this mosquito based on the video? Road and way out? The computer professional police officer thought for a while, shook his head and said, it's a bit difficult to make a single video. The main reason is that the mosquito was too close to our surveillance camera, and its speed was too fast. Only 3 frames were actually left in the camera. But if we can find a second video that captures this gray shadow, we can even get its flight trajectory through comparison. Then keep looking. Under Zhou Yuanshan's order, everyone started the boring work of searching for surveillance videos again. But this time they had a specific target and it was very easy to find.